Alright guys, so today we're going to check out the Moondrop Edge. This is a wireless noise cancelling pair of headphones from Moondrop, and I would actually put this in the budget category, especially considering we've been checking out some IEMs for Moondrop, and I think the last pair that we checked out retailed for like $450 to $500. So the fact that a pair of wireless noise cancelling headphones from Moondrop comes in retailing at $79 on their site, but I believe it's like $89 on Amazon, I think already makes these pretty interesting in itself. Now I do want to start with the look and the overall design of these because I actually love the way that these look. Now, on top of it just having this really nice subtle gray look, it is something as simple as just like this arm that runs into the outside part of the ear cups that kind of give these a unique look. But as far as the build, these do have quite a bit of weight to them. I don't know if it's the metal that actually runs through the headband. Now, on top of the headband, it does have a fabric material, which I like. It is pleather underneath, and it has plenty of padding, so it doesn't feel like super heavy on the top of your head. The ear pads are actually memory foam. These are super soft. Very comfortable overall. Now these do fold inwards and they do swivel, so you do have, a few options to kind of make these a little bit smaller to fit inside of your bag. And they do use physical buttons. Now I am a huge fan of physical buttons, and I also like that the physical buttons allow you to control everything. Now, as far as what all they've included in the box, it's pretty simple here. There is no hard case, but it does come with a little drawstring pouch. This is kind of generic, but you kind of have to expect that because to get them below $100, they are going to have to cut some corners. It does come with a USB-C cable, which I would have liked to have seen it be gray to just match everything else, but it is just a black cable. The battery life on these, though, I was pretty impressed with. Now, on a full charge, you can get about 48 hours. This is a noise canceling pair of headphones, so if you are going to have these in noise canceling mode, it is going to pull the battery life down some. Also, these support LDAC playback, so if you're going to have an LDAC, it's going to pull the battery life down some there. But it does have a fast charge feature, so if you do pick them up, just a quick 5-minute charge will get you 4 hours of use. Now, I really like this. Again, I've said it before, I just don't always make sure that my headphones and earbuds and all are always charged. Some other features on these headphones is they do have a Bluetooth 5.4. They do support multi-point connection, so you can connect to more than one device at a time. Like I said, it does support LDAC playback, so you're getting some pretty high-end Bluetooth codec playback here. But we've seen this in some other headphones lately. There's a lot of companies that are adapting to that LDAC playback. It's not just available for Sony products like it used to be. So this is becoming something we're seeing in a lot more headphones. To turn this on, and this is something that I highly recommend with this pair of headphones, is you are going to need to download Moondrop's app. The app allows you to keep the headphones updated. There are some EQ options, but the EQ on these headphones are very, very limited. You can only choose between like a very select few that they have available. There's no custom EQ. There's no like sound test to be able to kind of adapt an EQ based off your listening preferences. So it kind of feels a little bit limited here. Now, personally, I did have to switch it out of the EQ that's on these out of the box. I felt like it was a little dull, so I did switch them. I'll talk about this a little bit more once we get to the sound. But another thing that you're going to want to do right away is go into the app and adjust the gain to high. Now, it's on medium out of the box. When I first started listening to these, I thought the volume was extremely low, but at least adjusting these to high helped this. Now, also within the app, this is how you would switch it from noise canceling on, the noise canceling off, or the transparency modes that they have. Now, you can do this on the headphones, so you don't actually have to do this within the app. And speaking of the noise canceling, now, obviously, that's something they're going to market with these headphones, but I do want to say right off the bat that the noise canceling is just meh. It's okay. It's not anything fantastic. It's not anything that's going to compete with expensive headphones. And in most cases, I don't think it competes with some other sub $100 headphones that I've tested on the channel. So don't expect anything special when it comes to the noise canceling. The transparency mode, though, I felt like was really good. I felt like it did a really good job of allowing me to hear my surroundings without it sounding like overly artificial. You know, sometimes when mics are picking up your surroundings, it's just you're hearing things in a very digital way, and I think they did a good job of not making it come across that way. But my listening preference with these headphones is to just leave all of that off altogether. I think the best sound that you get out of these is with it off, because the noise canceling on these for some reason just completely dulls down the low end, and that's not normally the case with noise canceling headphones. So I was kind of surprised to hear the difference, that the bass just kind of went away for the most part when I had the noise canceling on. Now, if you are going to use these for taking phone calls, they are using beamforming mics, and they're also using environmental noise canceling, so that not only are the mics kind of focusing in on your voice, it's also trying to block out a lot of your surroundings. But you guys can be a judge by listening to a test here. So here is a mic test using the Moondrop Edge. I am outdoors. It's not really a noisy day, but I can hear some traffic off to the side. But this is just to give you an idea of what it would sound like if you were to take a call in public. So now let's talk about the sound. Now, these are using 40mm low distortion dynamic drivers. Now, I do want to emphasize the low distortion part, because I do think that this affects the way that these sound and the presentation that these have when it comes to listening to music, because I think they focus so much on these not distorting that I think they're limiting the volume a little too much. Even with the high gain, I would have liked to have had probably like 2 or 3 more notches when it comes to volume. And yeah, there are times where I want to blast my music. I would say at full volume, that's going to be fine most of the time. But I felt like the overall volume lacked whenever I wanted to just blast whatever I was listening to. Now, the overall sound on these, I would say, is pretty warm. Now, when it comes to the mids, this is one area that I felt like they didn't even touch. And in most cases, that's okay. But from a company like Moondrop, usually you have mids boosted a little bit. You have mids where they sound slightly forward, and male and female vocalists always have really good detail, at least with my experience with Moondrop IEMs and headphones. But with the Edge, it kind of felt a little lacking, especially if you're listening to genres like metal. I felt like when it comes to guitars, and that's something that usually hits in the mid-range, there was something there that was lacking whenever there's a lot going on. Now, I have experienced this with other earbuds and headphones that the mid-range, or at least when it comes to genres where there's a lot going on, things start to get a little bit muddy. Now, the headphones themselves don't sound muddy at all. It just feels like the volume of the guitars kind of drop a little bit if there is a lot going on. And then when it comes to the treble, I definitely felt like there was plenty of detail when it came to the treble, but it does have that more warmer, natural approach. So it never got harsh. It doesn't even get close to the point of being harsh. So really, for the most part, it kind of feels like the sound is just meant to kind of be a little more neutral. Now, not neutral as in reference or flat or anything like that, but it's just missing that dynamic sound that I normally enjoy. And I think that it's also missing that dynamic approach that I've experienced with a lot of Moondrop products. It just seems like it has a different feel overall. And when it comes to the sound stage and the sound imaging, this is a pair that kind of just makes you feel like you're in a medium-sized room, but it still does do a really good job of being able to tell where sounds are coming from. So my overall opinion is I do feel like the $79 price point is kind of spot on with these. I would not recommend them if they were over $100. I love the look of these, and I love the fact that they support LDAC playback. I think the battery life is good on these. I feel like there's something kind of holding these back a little bit. I don't think that this is like one of Moondrop's best products. I feel like it's just lacking in too many areas. And I think the sound quality overall it's really good. But what keeps me from just highly recommending these is there are some really good options from some really good companies like One More, Earfun, Soundpeats, Soundcore, even Sony has a pair that goes on sale like right under $100. And again, I would not even consider the noise canceling on these at all. Just looking at sound quality and volume and being able to blast them and being able to have a little bit more of a dynamic approach, I would recommend, any of those other brands. But if you're just looking for something simple, subdued and you don't need strong noise canceling, maybe this is a pair that you would be interested in. But guys, that wraps up my video on the brand new Moondrop Edge. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.